Hey guys, welcome back to the Model 3 Man channel. And for as long as I can remember, I've wanted to take that tour of the Tesla factory. Now, of course, you have to be a Tesla owner or you have to know somebody who works there. But as a Tesla owner, you have the right to book in for a tour. And that's what I did last year in August, after we got the car in July. But unfortunately, it was not to be. We were hit from behind, tour came to an end. So now it's August 2019 and we've undertaken that Tesla road trip once again. Right now I'm outside the Best Western Plus in Fremont, and so here I am, Fremont, California. I've just returned from the tour of the Tesla factory and I want to tell you all about it. It all started when I received the emailed invitation, which gave me a list of do's and don'ts: closed-toe shoes, long pants, shirt. Got into the car, started going off. I realized I hadn't read it. Janine had sandals, I had short pants. Back into the room quickly, changed into jeans, t-shirt. Janine changed into jeans as well. And then 5 minutes later, we were back in the car heading toward the factory. The waiting area is inside the Tesla showroom. So when you get there, there's this incredible sight. Everywhere you drive, there are cars that are parked. And 90% of those cars are Teslas. Model X, Model S, Model 3, just all over the parking lot. It looks like Tesla is the only car in the world. Well, obviously, that's on the Tesla parking lot. We walked toward the showroom and we got inside out of the heat because it was almost 40 degrees Celsius. And we relaxed in the showroom. I obviously had to sign in, and of course there were the terms and conditions. Among them were two important items: non-disclosure of any confidential or secret information that cannot be discovered on the website. And number two, no video, no filming, no taking pictures. You know, I've often been known, Dragon Lady will tell you this, as someone who tries to find a way around a law, but I didn't want to get kicked out of the factory. I wanted to enjoy this tour, so I followed the rules. Any footage you see in this video is footage that is generally available. It's footage distributed by Tesla or by other YouTubers such as MKBHD, who of course was able to get an interview with Elon in the factory. So that's where this footage will come from. Just about 10 minutes before the start of the tour, a gentleman came up to me and asked if I was Peter Levy. And it turned out he was a senior engineer, a manager in the engineering department, dealing a lot with the software side of things. His name was Ahmad, and he had seen that I was on the list, and he'd watched some of the videos on my channel and just wanted to introduce himself. I was honored because here's one of the guys that has created this miraculous spaceship that Elon describes it as. He's been there around 2.5 years. He is one of the people in the engineering department, and to me that was an honor. So Ahmad, thanks for introducing yourself. Keep up the good work. Then it was time for the tour, and our tour guide was a fellow by the name of Corey. Here you see me meeting him afterwards, and this was a special day for Corey and for us. It was Corey's last day at Tesla. He'd been there 4.5 years. He couldn't have been a better tour guide. He had a great way of communicating. He always made sure to ask us if we had questions, and he took us right through. We went overtime by 15 minutes, and one of the things Corey told us was that when he was a kid, 13 years old, maybe 14, he'd written Elon a 2-page handwritten letter, and in it he stated 3 things. He said, number 1, Elon, you need to make your cars look attractive and sexy and good looking. And number 2, they need to go fast. And number 3, they need to be very, very safe. So Corey told us, so I'm happy to see that Elon followed all my advice, and so the Teslas that you guys have are a result of my letter to Elon. Well, of course that was a joke, but that shows how impassioned he was, that from such an early age, Tesla had recognized by sending a reply and sending him a t-shirt, and so he went to work for Tesla. Let's just take you through what we saw in the factory. So it was divided up into the 3 areas. One of those areas was the stamping process, where sheets of aluminum or sheets of steel would be put into these massive presses, many, many tons of pressure, and the part was stamped and formed and then it was taken out. Along the way were racks and racks of these components that were going to make up the car. And he said that basically on all the racks were components sufficient for about 3 days assembly. One of the interesting statistics is that almost 1,000 cars a day leave that factory. So 1,000 completed cars, combination of the X, the S, and the 3, leave the factory fully completed. That's just unbelievable. So one overwhelming impression as we drove around was that of size. He shared with us that the total floor area, including upstairs and downstairs, is almost equivalent to 29 IKEAs. So if you can kind of picture that, IKEA's massive. I get so tired wandering the endless passageways, and this is 29 times that size. That was stunning to me. The second thing, of course, was that we were given a lot of facts that we already knew, like how Tesla bought this from Toyota and GM and got it for 42 million instead of a few billion. So there were some well-known facts, but for many people on the tour, they wouldn't have known that. The second area was all of the production and assembly lines, and so where all the components were put together and where objects would be assembled and then moved into the production line, and we got to see the area for the X and for the S. And then we were taken to the area where the Model 3s were assembled, and of course that was what I was really interested in, because my car is the Model 3. There was one part where the doors were removed from the cars, and then they were sent up, and they were put in a separate system where the speakers were installed, and the wiring, and the harnesses, and the windows, and everything that was part of the door assembly. And then, at a point further along the assembly line, those doors were brought down again and matched back to exactly the same car. So there wouldn't be any mismatch of paint, because it was the original doors that had come from the same car. Here's another impression I got. This is not a factory owned by a company that's about to run out of money and go out of business. So when you hear ridiculous assertions that Tesla's about to go out of business, they haven't got enough money, they're running out of funds, treat it with a serious pinch of salt. This is a massive area. Everything is running like clockwork, and there is no way that this company is about to go out of business now that it's becoming successful. And that was the overriding impression as we were taking around the factory. And then finally, of course, we got to see the final assembly area where everything is put together, the wheels are assembled on the car is lowered for the first time, its tiny little baby steps as it sits down onto the ground. And of course, seats were installed, the car moved forward. I'm sorry, I did forget to say, of course, that the car went through the paint shop, and naturally that's a critical area. We were not shown the paint shop because you do not want to introduce contaminants, and so that's all done behind very, very protected and screened areas. So final assembly and quality check, and then testing, and we were on the test section, and we were in this vehicle, and it accelerated unbelievably from 0 to 6 miles per hour. Yes, it was just the trolleys that we were in, and Corey took us from a standing start all the way up to 6 miles an hour. Was that exciting? The coolest thing in there was the robots, and many of them were named after X-Men names, X-Men characters. They were unbelievable. They moved and manipulated to within a fraction of a millimeter.
For a big robot, there's a little less precision than a smaller robot.
Yeah.
But say a medium-sized robot will be accurate to 0.2, 0.3 millimeters.
And that's how accurate they are. And they were pre-programmed by computers to grab a component, rapidly twist and turn until they could move that component onto the car which was being assembled. And it was just unbelievable. It was like something out of a science fiction movie. When I think about the Gigafactory in China, I realize that what they're doing there is to take exactly the same production lines, the same machines, the same programming that has turned these machines into very, very accurate robots, and all they have to do is replicate that in the Chinese Gigafactory. That's why they'll be able to get going a lot more quickly. What a wonderful tour. I mean, we got to the end of that, we gave him a cheer. Corey made it very special for us. So Corey, shout out to you. Good luck with your involvement in Airbnb, and thank you for your 4.5 years of service that have helped produce and helped give us this amazing vehicle that we so enjoy. So folks, that's all. I just wanted to do a short update on that tour. Thanks once again for being so faithful in watching my channel. Whether you're working in Tesla, or you're a Tesla owner, or you're looking to get a Tesla and you're trying to suck in as much information as you can, thanks for watching the channel. As I've said before, please subscribe and hit the notify button. We're very, very close to 10,000 subscribers, and I know that's nothing by comparison with others, but it's a lot for me. So do subscribe, do hit the notification bell, and once again, please drive safely, watch your back, and I'll see you on the next episode.